Hey, Chris. Says we're live, but it's giving me little issues. Let's see if we get it this time. Okay, yeah, I had to update my Streamlabs software, so it's going now. I'll get the bot going. If you want to play the games. Okay, it should be going. We'll see. If not, I might have to restart things because, like I say, I had to update my software. There it goes. Okay. Well, we're getting closer. We're not going to need this for what we're working on right now, so I'll put it aside. Hey, David. Get back over here on my right screen. It's like my thing's a little crooked. Okay. Well, we're building shocks today. This is, probably won't bring this up a whole lot. I'll bring it up probably a little bit though. Front shocks use the 2x1.7 pistons. That's what the kit come with. The rears use the 2x1.9 millimeter pistons. Hi, Michael. We started on them a little bit the other night. Started putting a few things together. Get into the bag of parts here, or screws. Get a little bit of stuff done here. These 4 nuts hold the shocks on, so won't be needing those for a while. Actually, we got 6. We need, yeah, we need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and the screws. Okay, yep. 6 of the nuts, 2 of the screws. Little things that go in the bottom of the shocks. Won't need them quite right away. Hope there's more than just 3 of these. Better be more than 3 of those. Yep, there's the other one. And the little screws for the shock caps. We'll go ahead and put, I always like to pre-thread these. Into the, I have stripped these out before, so I always pre-thread them. I'll leave them in there for now. Pretty easy to strip them out, little tiny screws. And I won't lose them this way. Hey Richard. Guys might have seen I posted my live stream schedule for the next 3 weeks in my community post. Doing our member coin stream on Saturday night. Next week I'll be off racing during the day, but I'll be home fairly early. So we'll get going on that between 7 and 8. Okay, got 2 longer, 2 shorter. Need to get into here. Be using those in just a second. Don't need the springs, but I need the other stuff in the bag. Pistons and limiters that are in here. Probably ought to dump them into a one of my little trays, because there are a bunch of them. Okay, one of the things they say in the book, and it's not a bad idea, called a racer's tip, I guess, is to mark the tops of these pistons so you know which size you got in them, and use a marker, just run across the numbers. Way you can see if you forget what you got in there. Of course, they make a lot of different sizes of these, so not a bad idea. It makes it easier to see them inside the shock and in the oil. You can see, if you look at the holes, you can see that the holes in them are bigger or smaller, but 0.1 millimeter is not a whole lot. These are actually 0.2 millimeters between them, the hole sizes. but that's not a bad idea to do. We'll get the pistons onto the shafts. And you do want to Loctite these. I have had one come loose on me one time. Then the piston came off the shaft. So make sure you Loctite them. Let's say we'll get going on these, letting the Loctite set in before they go down into the oil. And I got this fancy wrench. Recommend it for anybody that's doing shocks to have one of these. Keep from damaging the shaft. Probably something I didn't have when that shock come apart at that time. Something I've definitely bought here recently in the last few years. Used to just always use a needle nose and a rag. To tighten things up. Keep from stripping it or putting marks on the shaft. A couple down. Don't tell me I got a flawed shock. Oh, there it went. See, for a second I thought I had a flawed shock shaft. But just tight. I don't think I've ever had one of these be bad, but I do have extras. At least I think the ones I've got are the same size. From the old kit. go. Next thing I'll do is get the bottom, the seal part of the shocks built. Bottom end of the shocks. I will say, from the old days, these are much nicer. We used to have to, these were perfect circles, and you actually had to physically trim the extra plastic off of these. Now they've made them so they're actually kind of got a little bit of a squarish shape. I hope that they do break off though. To them, so even if there is just a little tiny bit of material there where the come out of the form, or after you break it off, it'll still fit down inside the shock. But they were a pain with the old shock. That one's being a pain. You had to trim these all down with your X-Acto knife. You can buy factory team ones where these are already cut out. And they call precision ones. But each shock takes these, what they call hat bushings. Two of the hat bushings and a center one. And this is my little trick to get the hat bushing down in the bottom. In there right. So otherwise they don't like to just slide down in there nice and pretty. Another new thing, although the X seals have been out for a while. Hi Ryan. Believe you're new. You maybe, we can maybe wait if it don't go for your slots. Wait about 4 or 5 minutes. I'll give you some points. Play the slots. Usually takes about that long for Streamlabs to recognize you coming in for the first time. Anyway, that's kind of how you build these. Put on a cap. Oh, I did forget to get my tool out here to. Of course, I don't want to tighten. I don't tighten these up all the way till after I get the shock shaft in. Have to get my tool out here in a little bit. One of them, two of these. I honestly don't think it's necessary for buggies, Ryan. I think it's a good thing for the trucks, but my last four-wheel drive was just a 74.1 because, well, frankly, I didn't believe in the 13 millimeter shocks like you. On a buggy, I don't think they're necessary. And the other reason why is because Associated never built V2 or the progressive springs for them. Still haven't. Which, on carpet, I think progressive springs are the ticket. So I seen Aiden Horn setup. He was running the V2 12 mil springs on his new 84 kit. So I don't know why they've never made them. I'll get this one together and I'll try and give you some points. Want to play the slots. Does the 4.1, I mean, I can sort of maybe remember them rubbing the small shocks rubbing the threaded bodies, but I don't think it's really an issue. Say I don't tighten those down all the way till after I get the shocks in or the shafts in. Okay, let me get over here. Oh, I got you. What do you got, Proline ones or something you're trying to stick on it? Okay, getting some points to you guys. Okay, you should have some points now. So what are they? Then they got the 12 millimeter bodies. I'm guessing is what you're saying. 12 mil shock bodies, the one before these. Yeah. Well, the 10 millimeter springs should fit on them. That's kind of weird. If it's just rubbing a little bit, I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot. So what are you building, a 4.1 to run outdoors, are you? Is that what your rear motor to run outdoors? Oh, okay, they fit. I gotcha. Just a little snug. That one's got a pretty good, hope that one goes down in. It's got quite a bit of material there. Yeah, this one I think I'm going to have to trim up. You're just got a little extra material there on the one side. They say we used to have to do this all the time. Now they, like I say, they squared off the edges on the insides of these to make it so they fit right in usually. I gotcha. I actually got a is it a .1? I'm guessing it's a .1 still hanging around here. .1 or .2. Still got a brush motor in it. I don't know, never really did, that car and me never really ever got along. I had the original B4 and then I got that one. It just never suited my driving style, I guess. Same way with the B5M, never did really like how it drove. Once they come out with the 6, I'm actually still running the B63, and I've still got no complaints about how that car drives. Yeah, parts for them aren't cheap. I've actually got quite a few parts around here for them yet. Actually, I bought out a hobby store from that closed in, I don't know, when was it? 2017. They had parts from, actually still had a pretty good pile of old XXX Losi parts, which I should be selling since the whole vintage thing is blowing up again. But yeah, a lot of 4 series parts. In those. Shouldn't have cut those off, should I? Yeah, we'll see if it goes in. Yeah, like I say, me and that car never did get along real well. I like the B3. I like the B3. I drove the shit out of my B3, but 4 come out, it just didn't suit my driving style, I don't think. Yeah, that one I should have had to push it back out. I still have my original T3. I sold my B3. And it's actually kind of a rare, it was one of the early T3 kits that actually had the shorter chassis. Sport kit originally. Get rid of that little burr. Always liked that truck. That truck was awesome for stock racing since it had the short chassis. It made the front end pretty light. That was the reason they went with the longer chassis, especially for modified. It was too wheelie prone, so they lengthened the chassis on it. It was, like I say, one of the early kits. It had the shorter chassis on it. Yeah, I shouldn't have cut them off. Thought it'd be smart. Cut them off and not break them off. That was a mistake. Okay, Ryan. Well, hopefully I'm finished up here. Just a matter at the end of the day, or at the end of the day, hopefully just be electronics to put in it. At least that's where it better be anyway. Okay, yep, that's the body's built. Yeah, it's time to doing some little things to prep. Thing I always do, they show putting this in as you're putting it together. I like to, this green slime is something Associated's had forever. There's a kind of a shock lubricant gap filler. What I do is fill the hole up. Yep, I got a little too much there. It's alright. Fill the hole inside here with the green slime. And then when I push the shock shaft through, I will cover the end here and force that grease back into the seals. A little trick I do to get the green slime back into the seals. Just a little bit more. Got carried away on the first two, so there we go. Okay, we got those. Now, probably start on the front shocks. So we'll use that oil. Kit comes with 42.5 and I think 32.5, 35. That'll be rear shocks, that'll be front shocks. And the only reason I got that out right now is to lubricate the threads on the shock shafts. What was I gonna grab? Oh. I'm going to flip over to the picture here. Show you guys. We've done that. Done that. What we will be doing looking at the limiters that go in it. We have 2 on the front, 1 on the rear for both shocks. And it shows putting green slime or shock fluid. I actually use green slime and put shock fluid over the top, so that's the reason I got the shock fluid out. The other thing, you can see the outside, the fronts, it takes 4, and the rear it takes 2 of the spacers, limiters. And we're using the 0 on both the rear and the front for the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. They make 0, 2, and 4. They are marked on these, I think, yeah. But we're just using the zeros. So I'll cut the zeros off. Other options you can use, like I say, got different lengths. Give you more droop or less droop. I guess I could go ahead and pop those in them if I had my pliers out here. Getting closer, Chris. You got lucky this afternoon. Kane's probably asleep. Since he's over in Australia. About a 12-hour time difference, somewhere around there. Okay, got those popped in. Okay, we'll start putting some shock shafts in the bodies. Sure to get the two short ones. Like I said, we use 2 limiters inside the shocks. On the front. Go ahead and put both, actually I could put all 4 of them on. That way I don't forget. Two inside the fronts. 1 inside on the rears. What this does on the inside, it eliminates down travel or droop. Of the shocks. Then the outer ones limit up travel of the shocks. Okay. Say, I green slime the threads. Guess I didn't get my shock tool out either, so I'll have to get. And then put shock oil both on them. Put a drop or so. or two. The main thing is not to mar up those little silicone O-rings. Like I say, I cover the end of it, so I'm pushing them through. That way it forces that green slime back into the seals. And I need my little shock tool. There's one. And I need my pair of pliers, which I put away. Probably really don't need to, you'd probably just about hand tighten these, but I always get the pliers out. That's one in. Oh, what am I doing? Give a good coating of that green slime on these threads, where you don't mar up a seal, so they are pretty soft. A little oil. Cover the end. Push that grease back in. There you go. Just like that. A metallic silver skull. Building shocks. Cover the end. Force that green slime back into the seals. Hopefully they gave enough limiters. So next we'll do the outer ones. Outer limiters, where we put the ends on the shocks. Cover the end, force the grease back in. Ooh, I don't like that feel. Well, that's the one that I did last with those. I do not like that. It's like it's binding up against the side. Take a look at the piston here. Sure there's no burrs on it. It just looks like the shaft is not lined up. Which that last one with where I trimmed those Hi Downing or Larry. I don't like the feel of that. It just don't feel right. Actually, it's freeing up. Okay, maybe just the inside of the shock body was dry, because it feels all right now. Okay. Probably no more once I tighten this down. See how it feels. Okay, it feels all right. I don't think I used a wrench on any of the others for the tighten these, except for the one. Definitely not quite as smooth as that one. There you go, Larry. Again, guys, we'll be doing our member appreciation stream Saturday night, so hopefully see you there. Okay, it should be all for the green slime. And let's see, what was the outers? 4 spacers on the fronts, or 4 limiters. It's quite a few. Say that limits the up travel of the shock. Actually, I'm past the foldy parts. I'm actually right to the, this is the last thing, basically, main part. It's basically all together except for the shocks, and then I'll have the cosmetic stuff like putting the wing on, and then electronics will be the next live stream. I'll have to, I might stick it in here yet tonight, but I'll do the soldering. I got to go down the basement to do my soldering, so we'll get that soldered up when I are off live. Yeah, I had, like I say, I got the parts in Tuesday. I actually had picked some up. They had one at the hobby store too, so yeah, for some reason this is not wanting to go on. There it goes. And you put these on about to the end of the threads, and then I'll have to get the vernier caliper out here again. Oh my goodness. Spinning on me. That's not good. Thing, I got this handy dandy tool. Don't mar the shaft up. Yeah, we'll once I get the electronics in, I'll have to get everything set up with my radio. I'll probably, like I say, I'll do that all live. Okay, what is the stroke on the fronts? I think it's 21.5. 21 millimeters. That is without the limiters, I am pretty certain. At least what they're showing in the picture. So I have to get them in between. It's a long ways from 21. And it's a long ways from being right with those in place either. Shows them, picture shows without those being in place. I always thought it should be with them. If that's the case, we need to back that off a little bit. Really would like to know. I always measured them with, here, I'll show you the picture. Yeah, there's a lot of work in them. A lot of adjustability to it. Like I said, here's the picture of the stroke. They don't show them with the limiters in there. But to me, the stroke would be after, with the limiters in there. So I'm going to back it off. That means I need to back those threads off. Okay, let's see. That should go that way. It should be close. Maybe a little more. Need to flip the screen back. They've got this line, always had this line on there that kind of where you were supposed to tighten to. That's the one thing, carpet cars, you got a lot more limiting. On the shocks in a dirt car. I guess I was on there quite a ways. We're close now. One more thread. Let's see where that is. Should be close. Should be close. We're really close. Less than one thread. I know when I put them on the car if I should be measuring off the spacers or not, limiters. Okay, there we go. The thread's showing, but still over halfway on. Four more. Hope there's more than one. Yeah, not looking like they, yeah, I guess there's some hidden back here. Yep, they give me enough, just enough. I know it'd probably be easier if I get my tap out of here. That one's going on easier though than the last one. Okay, just a little bit too far on. Not much. Should be enough. Yep, there we go. Okay, that's those two. Suppose I could go ahead and dump the oil in them, get them started bleeding the air out of them. And you got to pump these up because there's air that'll be trapped. See that big puff of air that came out of them. Put a little more oil in here. Then it takes a little while for the bubbles. There'll be little tiny bubbles. So that's why I'm doing these two front ones, filling them with oil so they can be sitting. Sit here and pump them quite a bit. Get those air bubbles worked out of it and heading up through the oil. Which takes a little while for that to get through the oil. Looks like I got a little green slime in there, but oh well. Sit here, let them sit. while I do the rears. So you can see that big air bubble just come out when I pump the shock. You got a little bit of that time to sit. You let that air work itself back up through the oil. And I can actually see it. You can actually see the little tiny air bubbles. You guys probably can't see it, but I can see it. That oil is just full of little tiny air bubbles. Okay, that's front. Need to get the other oil out here. Different weight oil for the rears. Need to get this set at 27.5. millimeters. Spacers on, or limiters on. I don't think I'll thread these on as far as I did the very first one. Trying to cockeye on me. There we go. Okay, let's see where we are. Pretty close. Honestly, I couldn't do much better than that. I'm guessing. It's close enough. That was a pretty good guess. That one went right on. Since these are 3mm shafts, a person could pre-cut these with a tap or a screw, but should be pretty close. How do I get that lucky? Looks like it's cockeyed though a little bit. But it should be all right. Okay, we'll fill them with oil. .35 weight in the rear, 42.5. That's what the kit set up. Some of you guys don't know you can get all different weights oil. About every 2.5 weight. Down to about 20, I think. May even have some 15 around here somewhere. I don't know what you'd use 15 weight in, though. That stuff's pretty thin. Extremely rough track, I suppose. I don't know if I've let the fronts have enough time to set or not. Shock definitely feels a lot better. Still feels just a little bit tight, which I think it may have been in the piston. Piston might be just a little bit out of spec. A lot of air coming up. Hey. Back to the other oil. I'll take a quick look inside of these, see if they're air free yet. I think it could go a couple more minutes. They do have machines that actually can suck the air with a vacuum out of these. Well, we don't get quite that fancy. What other things do we got? Need to get the shock bottoms. I think we use the zeros. Of course, we've already put the colors on. Oh, the fronts use 5s and rears use zeros. It's nice of them to give all the sizes. Four of them. What the heck is that thing? Adobe putting crap up in their PDF bull crap. Fives and zeros. They say they got 3 different lengths of them. 0, 5, and 9. Fronts use the 5s and the rears use the zeros. Spring cups. Okay. I'll give it a few more minutes. We should be good to go. Get one of these ready to go. Pull the little screw out of it. Have it ready. Oh, I need a rag. When I bleed them, I need a rag. Or paper towel, shop towel. Yeah. And bleed the shocks. Fill the shocks and bleed them. Fill them up to the rim. If anything, maybe a little over, where you don't end up with any extra air in it. Take the cap, put at least a drop of oil in the cap, maybe 2. Run the oil around it a little bit. Really should lubricate them threads on there, but it doesn't want to move, so I have had these push the O-ring that seals it out. I never fully tighten it till after get the air pumped out of it, or the shocks bled here. I'm slowly pushing the shaft up, keeping the hole upright. While it's compressed, put the bleeder screw in. Don't over tighten it, but get it snug. And then that's when I go ahead and tighten the cap all the way up. Just like that. Always, I normally get just a little bit of rebound after you pump them up. Wipe the excess off. Best you can, otherwise it'll dirty up. And it's still dirty up some, but there's one. Should probably be out mowing. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Oh, the little screw out. Yeah, it is. It's still wet. It hasn't dried much today. We had clouds. I guess there is a little bit of breeze going, but same here. It's been too wet. But the grass is getting too long too, so either way it's going to be a pain. See, get just a little dome oil on there. You want to make sure you got it full. Put a drop or two oil in the cap. I'd like to be able to get a little oil on those threads, but oil is just a little too thick. Like right now, it's not wanting the thread on there just perfect. There we go. Oil should be oozing out as you tighten the cap down. Way you know you got it full of oil. Slowly push the shock in, or the shaft in. Till it's fully compressed. Because actually your oil will go up or get less space in there as the piston goes up. I don't know why, but it does. Snug it, don't get too carried away. And like I say, I always tighten my cap on down after I've done that. Clean up the excess. Pump it up. I should have just a little bit of tiny bit of rebound there, just a tiny bit, and that's just exactly how much my other one did. So probably 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. Millimeter. I guess everything's metric nowadays. Okay, that's the fronts. And I guess I could go ahead and put the springs on them. Kit comes with the purple springs, which that's the stiffest I believe they make. Use the 5mm offset spring cups. Snap it on the shaft, slide it down, and there we go. Like I say, I'll have to adjust them later, but I suppose I could get it just snug on the springs. And that'll be a good start point for adjusting the right height. Hey, one done. Yeah, Chris is hanging out. He wants to get up there to Kane on the watch hours. It's getting close. I think I told him I would be in here yesterday, but I didn't make it in. Got busy doing some things around here and didn't get the live streaming yesterday. My video for today is going to have to wait till tomorrow. I haven't had time to mess with it. And get these at least eyeball close. Looks like it did pretty good. Okay, rears. First thing, get the little screw out of the cap. I am building shocks for my car, James. We're just about finished up getting the kit built. This is basically the last major thing. But we're building shocks. Drops the oil into the cap. Yeah, that oil's a little thinner. You could actually get a little oil on the threads. Yep, got this enough in there. Got a little oil seeping out of the hole. Push it up, slow, Squeeze out the excess. Put the bleeder screw in. Yeah, I'm hoping to have it next weekend, a week from now. Well, it better be ready to go a week from now. Clean up my mess. Go ahead and tighten the cap on down. And hopefully just a little bit of rebound. Yeah, a little bit more than the front, and that's normal. Bigger shock body, so. Just a little bit of rebound there. I know some guys, they want them clear flat. Personally, especially since I'm probably not letting these sit as long as some people do to get the air out of the oil in the shocks. Little just a freckle over full is not such a bad thing. Worst that can happen, it'll work its way out. Because they will seep just a little bit, especially if they get a little use on them. Usually though, when they're new, they stay pretty dry. Put a little dome oil on that, a couple drops in the cap. Thread it on there straight, maybe. There it goes. Hopefully get a little oil pushing out. Yep. Press the shock. I can definitely tell that's the one that's a little bit tight. I don't know if I really like that. Just feels different than the other one. It might be a rebuild for the future thing. But acts a little goopy. Tighten the bleeder. Tighten the cap. And hopefully we got just a little bit of rebound. That's what I'm wondering. Thing just is a little bit tight. Little flaw in there. I should be getting a little rebound out of it. I usually like to see them equal. Well, we'll go with it. Feel the difference between them. Actually, they feel about the same, but yeah, they feel about the same. Where you could actually get fancy, and there is tools out there to make sure you got your shocks equal. But we don't get that fancy. Those pretty close, and that cap pretty adjustment pretty close. Done with that. Done with these. Done with that. Eyeball the shock, the spring spring. Yeah, the little spin wheel thing. just the right height. So we got them pretty close, looking pretty close for a starting point. Get the shot or the car down here. Little flat side against the arm. Put the eyelet down there. One on. I always put the bleed hole out. I don't think it makes any difference, but it's the way I always do it. Nice, James. Put it in the bleed hole. Uh-huh. Ooh. What's the deal with that? It should go on further than that. In fact, I know it should. Maybe I put those in just a little bit too deep. Anyway, that's rear shocks. Okay, I'm pretty sure we go into the outside holes on the arms. Just make sure here from the picture. picture ain't very good. I have to go to the back page of my instructions. Pretty sure it's in to my setup sheet. Oh no, they go on the inners. Okay. Yeah. The power wrench. Couldn't make a little more room on here. Get the standoff. I needed to have that to bleed the shocks. A little more space here to get it up on the camera. I would have figured it would have gone to the outer hole, but okay, I'm not getting it started. There we go. Again, the little flat side of the bottom eyelet goes toward the arm. Hand tighten. Okay, there's the shocks. Shocks are built. Now, what's the next thing on our to-do list? Looks like putting a fan in place. Oh, they actually show it before you put the motor in. I guess that'll work. Get rid of some of these extra parts off the table. On to the next bag. I didn't remember to grab a fan. And the last bag in the kit. That's what they use for a wing mount nowadays, huh? We got a fancy one. My buddy give me one. Little carbon fiber one. Basically the same thing as that. I do like that a lot better than the old ones they used to give us. That's the wings angles. I think we go with the 6-degree. On the shim, if I remember right. This is angled, so you can actually put it back or put it forward. And then you can also use it without, and 0, 3, or 6 degrees. And the kit setup is, I'm pretty sure, 6 degrees. Yep, 6 degrees. So angles the wing downward. Let's get into the screws. See what we got. Our wheel nuts. So you can slap them on. Get them out of the way. Be on there when I put some wheels on it to align it. Holy cow, really? 1st of August, and even 1st of August. We're still in July and they're playing football. Okay, what do we got for different length screws here? Seen one with a little washer. There's another little dinky washer. I wonder what those are for. Just 2 of them. One little screw. There's only one I see is a dinky screw. And set these out. A type. A couple longer ones. looks longer. That one is longer. Hey, we got two, that one's not longer. It's kind of weird. Two, three, four, five, six, and then we got one that's a single. We got two of these flat top buttons. Okay, those are different lengths too. All sorts of different lengths. Yeah, that's another one of those. Go back and sit here and look and see what all the different. Oh, I know what the one is. It's the single one that holds the fan. Oh, yeah. In from the side. But we're using the top mount fan. Fan mount. And which would be this one. And hold the two 14mm buttons. Should be these. That's what the 16 is for. If you use the other, you can have a fan mount that sits right here by the motor. The motor sits right in here. You can either have a fan mount that blows at the back of the motor, which really doesn't get air into the side where you need it, but we'll use the one that sits right here. Instead, 14mm screws for the that 10mm screw for holding it in place seems awfully short. I guess it is what it is. Oh, the next question is, which way does it blow? Usually they got a little, oh, okay. So this should be the inside. Just let me, I'm gonna go take a look here, just be sure. So I don't have to do this twice. And like I figured, the protected area sits out. You can see that's not protected. It goes just like that. I can foresee having to get another one of those. I can foresee those getting damaged or broke, bouncing around rather easily. Not very thick. And actually it's not lining up. The fan is thicker. I suppose some fans that probably would be alright, but these aluminum case fans are thicker, some of them. Never had one not fit though. Yeah, they just got lazy and didn't trim off. Well, you can't really trim much of that off. I guess it could just sit up a little higher. I don't like that. I guess it is molded into the side. I could go ahead and Dremel some of that material off of there. That's what I get for getting a good fan. And take a little off the side, a little off the, actually needs it more off the side than anywhere. Wish I could leave that on there without having to, so I could see if it fits or not. Take it off so I can get modify. Never fails, got to modify something. Yeah, hopefully that's close. Fitting now. Maybe enough. See, I didn't have to take much off, but yeah, you always got to do a little finagling to make things fit. Never fails. Ain't the first time. I say this is a much better fan mount than on the back of the motor. Yep, that'll work. We got, I can see the hole down through the fan mount. Or through the fan. Just had to take a little bit off. I say these aluminum fans are a little bit thicker than some of the older fans. They probably made it to fit their Reedy fan. It's got just a little tiny bow to it. I could have taken just a little bit more off, but it's in place. I don't know what screws they gave me. They only give me 6s for these. Yeah, looks like they're little shorties. Guessing it's those two. That's about right. Difference between them. Hope that doesn't get in the way of the battery. I wish it was more over there a little bit, but either that or I'm putting it on backwards. Heck, that's the only way it could go on. Oh no, I'm upside down. That's the reason everything wouldn't fit. Okay, well, we screwed up, but we caught it before we totally screwed up. That makes a little more sense. I guess it would, as those are cut out for the screw heads. Yeah, it fits perfect on this side. Okay. Take a look at this in place. That makes a lot more sense. The wire coming out. I want it coming out there or like that. Probably like that. See, I thought that mount was a little bit far away from the motor. Well, that's, you put it on backwards, of course it's going to be too far away from the motor. And the fan fits right on there without having to cut things. It'll be fine. Yeah, and these screws fit right. Got a spot for them to stash away in there. It's like that. Okay, those are spares. That looks a lot better. Fan right over the motor now, or where the motor will be. Next thing, it shows mounting the motor to the motor plate. I don't know if we'll do that today, because to solder it, I'll show you how the motor goes in there. Motor sits like that. That slides in and out, so you can adjust the, put different pinions on it. Then you want this motor to sit like that with the wires coming down the side. Well, I don't want to mount it to the plate yet, because I want to have these upright when I go to solder the wires in place. So much easier to solder going down on that versus trying to solder when they're off to the side like that. So that's why we won't mount it to the motor plate yet. I'll actually, speed control will go right in here. We may get that set in there yet tonight. And the receiver, the receiver goes in right in this area. That's why this wire will have to go into the receiver. This wire will have to go into the receiver. Speed controls here, there'll have to be a wire that goes underneath that. There's a gap under that that'll go to the receiver. That wire is short, but that's why you got this little jumper wire. Okay, that's what uses those low profile screws. Is the motor mount. We can go ahead and put them in. Just stick them in for now. That way, just a matter of getting the motor soldered up and putting it in. I have to see what my other car is geared. Can't remember what pinion gear I'll have to go on the motor. Okay, yeah, that's that. Now we'll have to get the battery holder in place. I should have brought a battery in here. Oh, is that, those little things are O-rings? Oh yeah, they are. Battery holder 4. Guess I need to get a battery in here. So I can use the middle screw, or no, there's 6 holes. You use the 3rd hole, which would be the 4. Or 4th hole. And battery holder 4. Not using the super small batteries, which they got 2 lengths as standoffs, so I'll be wanting to use the longer ones, I'm guessing. Are those numbered? No, they're not numbered. Okay, this is the little thing that goes, that holds it on the front end. It goes right there. It's an 8mm flathead screw. Trying to figure these out. That's what they consider the 1. The 2 is the next little short one, which is that. 3's got the little, that's the 3. That's the 4, and that's the 5. Oh, I'm guessing, okay. So I'm wanting this one for the kit setting. Okay, there's little holes there. Oh, I see how it works. Put this on, and then you use these other little things for the standoffs. Okay. Use those things for the standoff, and ones for the short, extra short pack, and then the longer ones for packs like what I use. That's interesting. Okay, what screws does it say? Use 8mm button heads, which that must be these. See, this is a little different than what I've had before. So start in there. There it goes. That's the one thing, it don't seem like they can get an idea and stick with it. Okay, did I miss that? Or did I strip it out? I have a feeling like I stripped it out. Yeah, I got one tight one. The other uses probably a little short E-amp. Uses that one. Now they showed in the picture but they're not telling me if that does it make any difference. Yeah, it'd make a difference. I'll show you guys. In the picture they show this is this little battery holder. They show using hole number 4 there. And I'm guessing this is from the back. Well, I'm guessing, because see, then it uses the next hole. It's about got to. No. Yeah, anyway, I was saying, show using the 4-hole. Is that for the screw or the little nub for that thing? And I'm guessing it's got to be for the screw. Four, 5, 6. I guess this is where I need to get my battery out here. Because there is a 6-hole, but not for a screw, and only 5 battery positions. So I'm guessing the screw goes through the 4th hole, like the picture, and then the other one, the little nub, goes up through the 5th hole. Wish they'd show that a little better. It's got to go that way, just like that. The screw goes through the 4th hole. Like that, and then the little nub goes up through the 5th hole. It's like that. Okay, I'm going to flip this sideways. Much easier to deal with. Oh, you sucker. It wants to slide too. Well, I got it started anyway. Well, I hope that's right. I guess I need to get a battery in here. See if it fits in that area. Then I got the little hold downs. Yeah, use the long screws for standard battery, and use the shorter ones for the low profile batteries. That's, I'm guessing the little O-ring goes, yeah, goes in there. Oh, probably to hold the screw in place, so you don't keep, the screw don't keep popping out of there. Yeah, I need to go grab a battery. Make sure I've got it right. My gosh, that's it. I did it right. She's tight in there. Okay. Put the screws through. Got them little O-rings that I thought were shims to hold the screws in place, I'm guessing, from falling out or coming out of the holder when you take it battery out. I would hope you could spin these out. You should be, oh, now that little O-ring didn't stay in place like I thought it should. I really don't know what the purpose of those are. They don't quite make sense to me. Those little things are for, they fall right out. So they're supposed to sit down inside that. Let's see if they'll push down in there. Nope, they just fall right off. I don't know what the purpose of them is. Like something to lose. suppose it could be just for a little bit of spring, so it doesn't squeeze down on the batteries too tight. I know the previous kits, they say that don't over tighten the battery holders down. Maybe it lets it pivot. Just pivot like that. With the screw tight. Now that one, it went way... Either that or that screw is not... it's in place. Oh, one thing, this is a little bit shorter on the front edge than the back edge. So that might be why. This is not quite lining up yet. About those. Those seem pretty cheesy to me. Those seem pretty cheesy to me. I know the battery's tight in there, but and that one's snug. This one I can't snug it down. I don't think. Yeah, it just don't snug down. I mean, it's tighter than it was, but that one looks good. This one I don't like. That frickin' thing bends. Do not like that. Do not like that. So that is not tight. The only other thing, this thing may be on upside down. They don't show a good picture of it, of course. And that would make up the difference. This one, the front end one, is pretty snug. It's tight and clear down. This one is not right. I'm going to try it the other way. It does have a little bit of a standoff on the opposite side of this one. Which would raise it up a little bit and allow me to tighten that down. Just see what happens here. Flipping it the other way. It would sort of make sense. Maybe it is the other way, because there is a little strengthener . Yeah, maybe. Again, that could have been a lot better picture. Showing which way this stuff goes. Yeah, I think that hole stripped out. I probably could put a longer screw in it. See if this fits a little better. It's looking like it maybe does. Yep, that's the way it's supposed to go. Now that one's snug like the front one is. Live and learn. You can flip them to the side. Pull your battery out. That's not such a bad thing, as long as those stay tight. Okay, well that's that. Got the battery hold down in there. What's next? Should be about to the wing. That should be about it. There, showing the battery. Showing put in the receiver, the ESC, and the wing. lost my little spacer. There it is. My little, this little thing. And I'm not using the kit wing. I hate to say it, but they suck. The lightweight wings, one good hit and they're bent. Lead finger makes a good, lead finger racing makes a good wing. And it's got a protective film on here, so have to strip that off. Since I don't paint the wing. Speaking of that, I was going to order a couple more of these today. I'm down to one in my box. Be nice if they put a centering line on these, but they don't. So you gotta kind of guess. It's gotta go that way just a little bit. Need to back it off just a little bit. See if I'm still pretty well centered. And get my marker. I have to drill the holes. Look at it from the top side, see if I think I'm centered. I think I'm pretty good. See if I can get my holes marked without it moving. No. Yeah, hopefully I'm fairly close. I always make my holes a little bit, just a little bit big anyway. That's the right bit. Get the pilot bit out here. need to be forward just a little bit. Probably oughta. It looks like I'm not quite square. Put it on there. Better than I thought it was. It's like I'm just a little bit off. And that's the way it looks too. Just a little bit off to the left. So I need to go forward and a little bit to the left on both of them. See how good we did. We must have done pretty good because we're falling right into the little pieces of wing that are stuck through or hanging out the bottom or going right into the holes. So we must have done something right. Get the bigger bit out. And what I like to do, I got a reamer. I'll actually ream the holes just a little bit from the bottom to get rid of the burrs. And that'll open up the holes just a little bit. So if I'm off a little, still get it lined up square. There we go. Yeah, looks like we've done all right. That's why it's nice to have some guidance holes. But evidently they don't put them on. Evidently different companies use different centering holes. So that anymore. And what's it say for screws for the wing? Flathead, countersunk. Yeah, that's what that uses. I don't think that's what this uses though. Oh, yeah, it does. They're countersunk. Lost my scissors. There they are. Seeing my buddy give me this. Yeah, we ain't bad. A little bit of slop that we can move the wing around if we're not quite perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and always use anything in the plastic. Use a hand, tighten. At least I do. Yeah, okay, wings on there. Don't look like it's quite perfectly square. It probably is though. I'm probably blind. Okay, what else? '84 front nose. Oh. I doubt I'll probably even put that on. They actually have a little nose piece for the body, I'm guessing. Yeah, that little tiny thing there, little nose piece to go on the front of it. Kind of stupid looking if you ask me. It probably won't go on mine. Well, if I use my old body, it won't go on. So it don't have one. Okay, don't need that. I think we're to electronics. Yeah. Let's see if we can set a servo and speed control in place. Or receiver speed control in place. Done with that. A lot of these tools I can get rid of. Make room. Don't need that. Might need the knife yet. Shouldn't need any of these for tonight, but there's my other drill bit I was looking for. Done with this. Done with that. Done with this. Done with those, that. Done with the green slime. Shock tool. Okay, where's my receiver? There it is. Probably want it out on the flatter surface. Something like that. And an ESC. I don't know why they put them in that fancy case. Okay, last kit. I had them mounted like that. That way the switch is over here. Oh, this will, yeah, that'll be all right. I'll have to run it alongside there. And I think I set that up in there. So this has to go through there. Probably could put my servo tape on there. Double-sided tape or whatever you call it, mounting stuff. That's probably the way to, then I'll cut off a little and use the rest of it for there. Oh yeah, you hit, didn't you, metallic? Okay, put that on. I can go ahead and put on the one side. Put it on the bottom before I get to putting it into place. Yep, you hit the slots. I see it. Use that extra little piece for right there. Boy, there's just enough room to get that through there. Enough wire to put that up in there, maybe. This ain't a whole lot of room. Make everything go in here. Actually, more room on the back, but not really, because I don't really want those wires getting into the before I had it up here, but there is not room for it up here. So it's going to have to go back here. I'm going to have to use a little bit of move that up a little bit. I guess that'll kind of balance the servo. Further forward you go with it. Put this, man, maybe that's long enough. Yeah, I could probably do like that. Now tighten the wires up. Keep them out of the drive line that way. Okay. On experiment. How you want to mount everything in there. So we need to get a little bit of double-sided tape on the bottom of that. The switch I think can wait. We'll probably end up putting that right attached to the side of the ESC with some double-sided tape. That's my battery wires. They'll go out like this. These are the motor wires. They'll go over like that. Okay, double-sided tape. I had some. Looks like I'm going to have to use it lengthwise. Right there. Come a little off. Right in the middle of the three. Right there. Holy cow. I've been on here 2.5 hours. Well, that's alright. Get this stuff mounted up and in place. And it won't be long, we'll be done. Okay, can I get it in here the first time? Pushed up along that edge as about as tight as I can. Get the wire underneath it that I can see is trying to go underneath it. It should be good. Probably could have been just, can't really go any further ahead with it. And then this. I know we're associated. Got this stuff. Novex, that other double-sided tape was old Novex stuff and best stuff out there. Of course, you can't get it anymore. Novak isn't in business. Yeah, we're going to be close to 3 hours when I get done. I haven't started my supper, but it is just warming stuff up. We're actually, 3.5 hours. You're right. Started at 2:30. Well, I didn't know if I was going to put the electronics in tonight or not. I decided to go ahead, get them in place so that way all I got to do is go to the basement and solder in the motor and terminals for the batteries. For the battery. Yep, you're up within 3, less than 3 there, Chris. Oh, come on, I hate this. There, it finally came loose. Now I need to get this up kind of out of the way. The other wire, this needs to go down. There we go, that one is down. I don't want to stick this wire. And hopefully that's a good enough spot that I can get my pinion up in there on and off. Hopefully that didn't suck that down. No, we're good there. Run these wires there alongside it. And that should be good. Might have to put a little zip tie on it there. That way, pull these wires this way. Yeah, we'll probably have to put a little zip tie on it. But it's there. Don't worry about the switch for right now. Get the receiver in and call it a night. Probably as far back as I can. Probably the wisest. Like about right on the edge of the M. Boy, that stuff is terrible about peeling the top sticky part off, or the top non-sticky part off. Without pulling the whole works off. Trying to pull it off. Okay, get it back as far as we can. As far out as we can. That way I can shove some wires up in here. Zip tie some together. Have a fan wire going there. Transponder, lap counting thing going there. Wish that wire were just a little bit longer. Just a tiny bit longer for that fan. But we'll have a, I suppose I probably could get a shorter lead than this big long extension lead that they give you. But yeah, well, it is what it is. We'll have to zip tie it all up in there. Okay, I think I'm done for tonight. Probably have to sit down. Won't be able to do it tomorrow. don't think I'm going to be mowing grass all day. But get the motor soldered in. Saying get the power wires soldered, the plugs soldered on the power wires. But the car is built. Get the motor in. And hopefully I didn't bore you too much here. Shocks. See how those anti-sway bars work. See how it's lifting the other arm. That's what the anti-sway bars do. Same on front, same as on the rear. Do the same thing. See how it's lifting the opposite side. That's the way you lean into a corner. It'll actually start to pick up the other wheel. Actually, more force is put on it. It'll actually put more force back onto the wheel that's getting compressed. But anyway. Okay, guys. We're out of here. 3.5 hours later. Went way longer than I figured it would. But we're done for today. We'll get it soldered up. We'll do one more live stream when we get it ready to be operational. Get all the electronics programmed in it, and probably be a short one. I may do, I have to hook it to a computer to program it, so I may do that all offline. We'll just show you guys when it's running. But anyway, we're out of here. Later, DT's got a stream coming on probably in a couple hours, Chris, so if you want to hang around, you can. Or go to DT's, my Silver Squad. Anyway, we're out of here. Later, guys. Thanks for watching.